I want to know.
Addresses?
I needed to know. I have to.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to tell you why, though. I want to know because before I sit up here and really keep moving and elevating our relationship, I want to know who got one up on me.
Well, you heard it in Cam Newton's words. Yo, you tuning into the Notion podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, and we have just a short little video. I like to do these in between our full content episodes because some of you guys like the shorter content, but I could not miss the opportunity to talk about this because I thought this was a really good conversation and it's realistic. So for those that don't know, Mr. Cam Newton, Mr. former everything except win the Super Bowl, but I'll hold that against him. I'm a huge fan of him, the athlete, and I like to see the fact that he's transitioned into a different form of media. He basically said that he asked his girl for a list of people that she's been with, and that has caused a lot of uproar in social media. And although a lot of people may not like his choice of words of worrying about who has the one up on him, I did see a lot of reactions and a lot of comments regarding this, and I thought it was interesting. I seen one comment where somebody said, hey, this is what insecurity looks like. I seen comments that said, oh, wow, Cam Newton out of all people because of how many kids he has. But I will give my synopsis on what I think about this whole exchange and this viewpoint, but I'm going to let Cam Newton finish his point. For those that didn't know what was going on, this is the scenario. It's about him knowing his woman's past and who she's been with. So let's keep it going.
And if I'm willing to take on that burden, because why I want to know, if you had any type of relationship, intimacy, experiences with people that I really know, I need to know that. I'm owed that.
That's fair. I didn't mean to chop up the video like that, but I think that's fair. And I think that sometimes when we look at the messenger or the person talking, we kind of disregard things that are actually factual and that we can actually relate to. But I think that's true. I think it is important to know who you've been with and who they have been with as far as in proximity to you. But like I said, I'll share my stuff, my viewpoint at the end.
Because if you don't give me that, you got me, hey y'all, this my girl, and you got somebody over there in that corner like, that nigga don't know. What's up, my boy? You good?
Yeah.
She bad, ain't she? Yeah, that's mine.
There's some truth to that. I've been in a lot of scenarios with some homies where somebody started rocking with somebody or talking to somebody. They may be new to the circle or new to the area, and they're excited about somebody that we know a lot about. And we're like, ooh, man, I don't think the homie really know. And you know what? Some men don't care. Some men are that excited. It doesn't bother them. It doesn't mess with their ego or whatever. Some men don't care. And I'm not even judging men that don't care. But, you know, that is a thing where we have been in scenarios where somebody is like really proud to have somebody on their arm, and we can kind of tell they don't really know that person or know the history of that person. Not judging, just saying, man, I don't know if they would really feel that way if they knew this. And sometimes maybe they do know. But that's what Cam is referring to, and that is a real thing that happens.
Baby, you want some juice? You want some punch?
But you're a special man because a lot of niggas, they're too insecure to actually really hear that shit.
That has
you're
nothing
a special man.
That has nothing to do with
That's
insecurity. But this is where I want women to.
So I think that's interesting that she would say that. And the reason why I think that's interesting is because on one end, a man could be too insecure to hear about who a woman has been with, but then at the same time, he's being called insecure for wanting to know. So which one is it? Is a man more insecure for wanting to know his woman's past, or is he more insecure for not wanting to know his woman's past? Y'all let me know. Put that down in the comment section right now when you hear this. I want to hear your answers on that. That could be a topic within itself. But let me know what you think about that. But I'm going to keep going, let the video rock.
Understand. If she had been with somebody that was close to me, I would have had to respectfully, I'm not there yet. I can't.
Not that grown yet.
I can't carry that.
I don't like that little jab of not grown yet. Listen, we can call it childish. We can call it insecure. For some people, that's boundaries. Some people, that's boundaries, man. You dated my cousin? Oh, I can't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you used to talk to my brother? I can't. Like, people have boundaries. It's not, everything isn't a mature and immature situation. Some people just have boundaries. And at what point do we separate boundaries from insecurities and being immature? That's just a boundary. Women do it all the time, both sides. But I'm going to save mine till the end.
Yeah.
Right.
You cool, you're beautiful, but baby, that's my teammate.
Right.
Baby, we see each other too much. We in the same rooms. And even though he a good dude, my ego is gonna be, yeah. And that's the man's superpower, if given the right way. See that?
Our egos can get us in a lot of trouble. But at the same time, people also minimize egos. You know, they you put too much on your ego. You got a fat ego, you got a big ego, whatever the case is. For men, our ego is our fuel to keep pushing when we feel like we can't push no more or when we're too tired, right? So a man's ego is very, very important. That's why you'll hear a lot of women say, oh, I crushed his ego, or his ego is hurt, or whatever the case is, because they even understand the value that we have on our ego. However, I don't think it's wise to always incorporate your ego into your boundaries, because just like a woman's emotions can be deceiving to her, a man's ego can be deceiving to him. So we have to be very careful about what we allow our egos to control. But I'll let them finish.
That's the thing. People always say, oh, he's narcissist because he got an ego. No. Baby, a man's ego can make a relationship
Yes.
or break a relationship.
You are absolutely correct.
So that thing that makes me great, that protection, that bravado, when I walk around with my chest high and I know my woman is next to me and I know that she's giving me the respect to say, hey, baby, I'm coming to you pure. I've been with this person, that person, this person. That's cool. There can be some people that it's just too heavy to bear.
Right.
And I think women need to understand that. Well, y'all out here just hanging out. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? You done hit my friend. Why you can't take me?
I get that. My issue is that a lot of men say that they can handle it, or like they're okay. I've never had to give anybody my fucking list ever in my life. That is crazy, but
that's cool.
Maybe it'll happen someday.
But that happened.
I won't feel bad sharing it though.
Okay, so I said I'll give my piece, right? I don't know about getting a clipboard and pen and saying, "Hey, write down everybody you've been dealing with." I don't know about that. I don't know if that's the wave. I think that's a little unique, if you ask me. But what I will say is, I will say this: I think that it could be a conversation, especially if you guys are in the same spaces. I definitely think a conversation is warranted. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why I kind of agree with that, is just because it's good to get that stuff out there. It's good to get that conversation going. It's good to just get some stuff cleared out. It's a small world. We all know this. So I do think there's a way you go about it. If you're going to have that conversation with someone, I don't know how wise it is to do that late in the relationship when feelings have developed and you guys have grown close. I think it's good to have that conversation the minute you start talking about intimacy and fantasies and all of that stuff. I think at that point, it's very important to have that conversation and say, well, hey, listen, we know the same people. We've been in the same circles. Have you dealt with anybody on this side of the city? Or, I went to school here. Did you know anybody that went here? Did you talk to anybody that went here? I don't think that's a harmful conversation. I don't think that's an unrealistic conversation. Having a list and saying you need to name everyone, I think that's a little weird, and it could be invasive because some of that stuff may not be your business. But I do think it's important to make sure that, hey, I just want to make sure like you didn't date like any of my relatives, or I just want to make sure you wasn't dealing with any of my really closest friends or anything like that. So what's up? But I also think an organic way of going about that too is actually being friends with the person before you start dating them. Getting them comfortable enough for them to want to share things and know that you could take one off the chin if it's something that, may bruise your ego. I'll say that with air quotes. But this notion, no pun intended, that it's childish or it's stupid to know about a person's past. I think it's important. I on the Epic Lounge Network on Thoughts of Dizzy, I did an episode where two siblings didn't know that they were siblings and they started dating and they had a baby together. Yeah, crazy, right? Go check that episode out. That's why you want to get to know people, and you want to get to know people's families and people's friends and circle. People get so invested in the individual that they don't care about what the individual is connected to, and then you have problems later on when you, case in point, fall in love or whatever it is that you do in situationship, whatever. I think it's very, very, very important that people have these conversations. Another good reason why you want to have that conversation is because you might find out they mess with somebody that got something, or that you heard got something. Okay, I'm gonna need you to get checked too, and this, that, and the other, because I heard this or I know this for a fact, or whatever the case is. But when I seen a lot of the women going in on this take with Cam Newton, the first thing everybody brought up is how many kids he has. That has nothing to do with anything, because yes, he has a lot of kids, but all of those women agreed to laying down with that man and having those babies. So they look just as crazy, if not worse, in my opinion, because somebody had to be the second, third, fourth, and fifth. All right. But what I'll also say is that women know better. Women are really, in my opinion, they can be worse than men when it comes to this conversation. And I'll give you an example. We talked about the man's ego, and the man could have a bruised ego because she messed with such and such, or this dude was famous, or this dude had a lot of money, and now your ego is bruised because he was your rival, or he was your best friend, or y'all used to play sports together, or whatever the case is, right? But let me tell you what a lot of women like to do. And women know I'm not lying, so don't play in the comment section, because y'all do this all the time. It could be a guy that tried to holler at her. That means they have no history, no dating history or anything, and she won't waste any time to tell the girl that's her friend that he's hollering at. Oh yeah, he tried to holler at me last year. He tried to talk to me. So if women can be that territorial just about somebody trying to talk to her first, then I know women can understand what this man is talking about. And this isn't a man thing. This isn't just a woman thing. This is both sides. Men and women do have a hard time having that conversation of the past. And women, you guys know, if you met a guy, you thought he was attractive, you thought he had a lot of money, he had charisma, he had all of these things going on, he's definitely your type, and you found out he messed with your sister, your favorite cousin, your best friend, your ex-best friend, you would feel away. You would be like, he becomes just a little bit less attractive, and all of a sudden his flaws are more vibrant and more clear because of that thing that he didn't do intentionally, because he didn't know you at that time. Same thing with men. With men, it is an ego thing, because once men find out who you've been with, that they're affiliated with, they want to know. And I'm gonna just keep it real. Men want to know if did he hit it better. They want to know, were you into him like this, or like what was he doing? A lot of men go in the sexual direction of these conversations. You know what I'm saying? And then it turns into a competitive ego thing and all that other stuff. So both sides do it. It could be a very unhealthy scenario if you don't move correctly. But I don't think it's a terrible conversation. I think it's a tacky way of doing it. Is y'all got to write lists down and you go through the list like you're doing a cycle count or an audit. I think that's kind of weird. Come on, Cam. But wanting to know where a person has been and who they've been with before you decide to be with them in that way, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the way STDs are flying around now, I think people should know who they've been with. You know, we got to stop normalizing that, oh, the body count don't matter, who you've been with don't matter. That's crazy, because of those things not mattering, you have STDs, you got babies out of wedlock, and You got child support flying left and right. You got, all of these athletes and entertainers with all of these babies and everything else. That's the result of things not mattering. So I do think it's more of a boundary thing. I don't think it should be something that you use to judge somebody or to keep throwing it in their face or whatever the case is. But I think it's a fair conversation between two healthy, mature people. So that's my take. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. You've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast, Outlawed Opinions with your boy, Dizzy D Spill. And I can't wait to read your comments, and I can't wait to see what you guys think. Until next time, peace.